both of you guys played in the NBA a long time. I played in the NBA a long time. Was there ever fear from a player to another player? Did you feel that? Did you know teammates that felt like I can honestly say I was never scared of an opponent.
Never had that emotion. And I never really witnessed it. At the closest ever, and it wasn't directed at me, it was a different position, that I saw where maybe guys were a little bit more nervous lacing up.
I think we're going to say who?
Was Shaq. Because Shaq wouldn't just, go out there and outplay and dominate you statistically, like whatever. He also could potentially put you on some sort of video clip that could last a lifetime, right? So
Chris Dudley.
Right. And and by the way, Shaq, second year in the league, maybe he's in Orlando. I'm in Dallas. That was the leaner Shaq, but picks up a loose ball in the middle of the lane. I'm the closest guy to him. And even then it was, don't let this guy get layups and dunks, chop him. He starts to rise up, and I just swung down as hard as I could across both forearms, and he kept going like full strength, and I'm feeling kind of like my body starting to go upward, like in an upward motion, like where you're thinking like he's about to take me off the ground, and you release and let go. So that's the closest I saw, like in the locker room, the dudes that had to deal with him, maybe a little bit more nervous that night, but no. And I played against a lot of Hall of Famers in my spot. I never felt fear, like, more of an adrenaline excitement actually to play against those guys than anything.
Okay, so we can go back even further than basketball, right? I mean, further than the NBA. We were all those dudes in high school, right? You got to be those dudes to get to those places in college. And for the most part, you got to be those dudes in college to get to that. I can't even really remember in high school when I'm in Glendale, Arizona, and the starting center on the other side is a 6'4" dude, that also is like working at Radio Shack during the summer, right? Those guys never looked at me with fear, right? Like, no, like that's what I'm saying. So it's like Shaq is the one guy because he was you're looking at him like the fear that you might get is he's doing that full speed thing. Am I really going to try and take a charge on this?
Right.
Like this could change the direction of my career. But fear, like guarding someone that is the same size, same position, same skill. No. I have never seen fear in someone's eyes. Respect, confusion when someone does something like holy, like the look that what's his name when Wembanyama when he dunked
on Thomas Bryant.
Thomas Bryant, like that's not fear. That's not a fear look. That was like, what the what the heck? Like, you don't know what that is. So and I know what the point you're trying to make, but I've never seen actual fear. That is something that I've never seen in someone's eyes.
You hear it all the time, though. I think you hear it in the media and you hear it from fans. This team is going to be scary. I just think it's the wrong word. I think fear is the wrong word. And Stephen A. talks all the time like Jordan was feared and LeBron is not feared. I tend to disagree with that. I think the physical part, like I said this, I think it was last year or the year before to Stephen A. I said, look, there was a time on fast break, I knew LeBron was going to go to that left to right spin move and I timed it perfectly. And there was a split second there where I was like, this is going to fucking hurt. And like that part of it was scary, but like going up against an opponent or a team, even those Warriors teams with KD, like we knew they had to play their worst and we had to play our best to have a chance. Mm-hmm. But there was no fear.
Well, for me, respect. Even, defending Michael Jordan, like it wasn't a situation where you're afraid of it. For me, I always looked at situations like that as this is a no-lose situation for me. There's nothing he can do to me he hasn't done to much better players, right? So I'm going to compete. And if you go through a 4 or 5 minute stretch where you guard him pretty well and you contest a couple shots and he misses, you did your job. What guy like me, I'm worried about like that other role player shooter on the other team. If that guy tunes you up like for a 5 minute stretch right now, you're more worried about that by far than guarding guys like Drexler or Reggie Miller or Jordan, because you're just like, I see him do it every night to everybody. I look at this as an opportunity and a challenge more than anything.